everyone, my name's Lindsay. I'm from the Morton Public Library, and today I'm going to show you how to make a stop motion video. Stop motion videos look pretty cool, but it's really a pretty simple technique. All it really consists of is putting an object in front of a camera and taking a picture, then moving the object and taking another picture, moving the object again, taking another picture, and doing that over and over again until you can string the photos together to make it look like the object is moving. You can use whatever kind of objects you want. Food, toys, paper cutouts, drawings, really whatever you can imagine. The one main object you're going to need to make a stop motion video is a smartphone or a tablet of some sort. We're going to use a free app called Stop Motion Studio that you can download from your Apple or Google Play Store. What's nice about using an app like Stop Motion Studio is you do everything within the app. So you take the photos in the app and it strings the photos together for you. The example I'm going to show you in our video today has the camera facing down towards the table. So you're going to need a tripod or some sort of setup to face your camera pointing down. You can use a tripod if you have one. If you don't have one, I'm going to show you a really easy setup you can do at home. I made 2 stacks of large sturdy books on either side of my workspace, about 9 to 12 inches tall. Then I like to use a cooling rack to put on top of the books so the phone can rest on it while also being able to see down to the table. When you open the Stop Motion Studio app, tap on New Movie in the top left corner. To start taking pictures to make your movie, you're going to tap on the camera icon in the top right corner. First, let's take a short tour of the Stop Motion Studio app. The first thing you need to do is have some pictures to work with. I grabbed a cutie from my fruit basket, and as you can see, I'm just going to enter it into the frame and start slowly moving it. After each movement, I hit the red shutter button on the right to take a picture. You can see the shutter button go from red to white when I'm tapping on it. Now that we've taken a few pictures, use the back arrow in the top left corner to go back and play them all together. If you scroll all the way to the left of the storyboard and press play, you can watch the animation you just made. This is a very simple example of how the process works. The editing features on the left will let you change things like movie speed, which will make your object look like it's moving faster or slower. These extra features will let you add things like a title or soundtrack, but some of these features cost extra. The microphone button lets you record your own narration over your video. If you want to add more photos to your story, just scroll to the end of your storyboard and tap the camera icon. Now that we're back in camera mode, let's look at the helpful tool on the left. Sometimes when you're working, you might move your object too much or accidentally knock it over. Sliding this tool up shows you where your object was last positioned in the frame according to the last photo you took, so you can move it back in place. Now that you know the basics, let's make a longer form video together. First, make sure you have decent lighting. I recommend setting up near a window. Keep in mind that an overhead light isn't always the best lighting as it can cast shadows. You can see here that I turned my overhead light off. Next, check your frame to make sure there's nothing in the picture that you don't want there. You can see here that the edge of the books my phone is resting on was just barely showing in the bottom left corner. Last tip, be aware of your body's shadow and how it's casting on your frame. This can be tricky, but just try not to hover over your camera or move around a lot as it can affect the lighting in your pictures. I've decided to stick with the cutie in this example because I think food is really fun to play with in stop motion videos, but this time we're going to move it for quite a bit longer, and we're even going to unpeel it and move the pieces around. Remember, the shutter button is turning from red to white every time I'm pressing it, and you can see the number of photos I'm taking in the upper right corner. Already I've dropped my cutie and it tipped over, so I'm going to use that little bar on the left to figure out where my cutie was before I dropped it. Notice I left the bar up. Sometimes I think it's easier to work when you can see where you left off last. The effect I'm trying to create here is that the cutie is rolling into the frame. A little trick I use to prop the cutie up without my fingers getting in the picture is to roll up a little piece of napkin and stick it under the cutie. I'm going to speed up the video a little, but the idea is that you take pictures of small movements. The smaller the movements you make, the less choppy it will look when you're finished. It's totally up to you how you move your object and what you make them do. It's important to me that every object in the frame looks like it came and went, so things don't just appear or disappear. Like when I started peeling the cutie, the tiny little stem bit at the top came off, so I decided to have it move out of the frame on its own. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there are lots of possibilities for making stop motion animation. Start simple with whatever objects you have on hand, then build up to something a little longer and more complex. We took over 150 pictures for this particular video. Before we look at the final product, let's look at one last tool. I've already hit the back arrow and now I'm scrolling back to the very beginning of my storyboard. Say there's a certain picture that got messed up or you don't want it in the storyboard anymore, just tap on it once and some tools come up. In this case, I'm going to tap cut to remove the first frame. I'm going to cut the next couple of frames as well. Now let's watch the final product. So there you have it. You are now ready to make a stop motion video of your own. If you do want to add extra features like background music or a title page, you can pay 99 cents to Stop Motion Studio for those features, which is a pretty good deal. The Morton Public Library has no affiliation with Stop Motion Studio, it's just an app I like to use. You can also export your video from the Stop Motion Studio app and then upload it into a video making software of your choosing. There are lots of free apps you can download from your app store that give you the features like adding music or title pages. Or you can use a video making software like on your desktop, like iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. I use the Windows 10 video editor to make this how-to video. If you do make a video, we'd love to see it, so share it on social media and tag us at Morton Library. Thanks for watching.